Oh no. What's happening to my chroma key? Oh no, disaster. I swear it was just working. Why? Oh my gosh. Hold on. Ah, isn't this fun? Oh, don't play me like that. Come on, chroma key. Give me one moment. I was literally just on this. So unfair. And now it doesn't want to work. Color key. Color key. Oh, why? Why? Oh no. Yeah, hey Mosimus, Bill Kuhn, Gusak PT, Jojo the pianist, hello. Yeah, it was just working. I promise it was just working. Retrorents Al, Slat Studio. Happy Crimson Tuesday. Oh, this is a nightmare. Why are you being like this? Okay. Beto Man, good evening. Yes, Kisa, yeah, I gotta adjust the lighting. Oh, now it's working. It was perfect just 5 seconds ago, and then I switched the scene, and it just did not want to do it. Deluxe Tux, hello. Tandagasa. Good evening. I can do a quick shout out for Tanda. Yeah, I don't know. That's never happened, but this is a new machine, so it's not like a uh, it's not like I have much of a history with it, but yeah. Ambrosine, good to see you. Okay, so yikes. Okay, that's probably gonna do the trick. Okay, cool. So, hello. Good evening, everybody. Afaram, well, this is still the Surface Book 3. Although we'll get into that in a bit. I've got a bit of a story to tell. Like, why is this happening right now to me? Don't do this to me. Good enough. Okay. Oh, good, Retrorents Al. You're excited to play the game and learn about the characters. I'll show a bit of the game before we move it over to Dan tonight. Cosmic Void 3, good to see you. Yeah, I don't know. It's not as good as it was, and I'm kind of annoyed by that right now. Because before, like about 20 minutes before I come on stream, I test the sound, I test the video, I do everything, and all of a sudden when I switch see, now it doesn't want to. When I switch cameras, it becomes like a disaster. Why? Don't do this to me. Don't. Well, you know what? We'll say good enough. We'll say good enough. Okay. Oh no, Bill, couldn't you charcoaled your chicken breast on the backyard campfire? Oh man. Yeah, that it sucks. I hate when I burn food. It drives me crazy. Okay, so today is a Dan stream. So Dan Policar is the musician behind the music for the Crimson Diamond, and it's a his stream. But we're gonna do every week we do a pre-stream when it's Dan's stream. So around 8:30, we're gonna raid Dan's channel, and we're gonna get into some fun music stuff. But before we do that, I am going to just go over some quick updates. Development is going better because I kind of have given up on the hardware upgrade. So good news and bad news. So this is a Microsoft Surface Pro 3, and I'm gonna pretend I'm not a ghost in my hair right now. Yeah, this is the Surface Book 3, and I got it because it was basically an upgrade in every single way from the Surface Pro 2 that I have. But in one very important deal-breaking way, it is not an upgrade, and that is the stylus, the cursor stylus control. Surface Pro 2, Wacom tech, drivers and stuff, and from Surface Pro 2 onward, from 3 onward, it's been Entrig, and it's been no end of trouble for me to use it. Because I was trying to be clever. I was thinking I don't want to get a Cintiq, a Wacom Cintiq, but I want to be able to draw directly on the screen like I can with my Microsoft Surface Pro 2 with a Wacom stylus, because Wacom styluses are awesome. But it hasn't really worked out that way, unfortunately. I got on Microsoft tech support, and they said, well, you know what, maybe the pen is defective, so they sent me a new pen. And it came yesterday, and I tried it yesterday, and I know you guys are thinking that it might be fun for me to open it up and test it live on stream. Hey Anna, oh good, yeah, so you're still at work, but yeah, you're gonna come in later around 8 p.m. PST, so that's like 11 us time. Yeah, cool. Yeah, so yeah, Anna and Rick, and Paul Corman, they host the Classic Gamers Guild podcast. And one of their most recent episodes, they actually got to interview Ken Williams and Roberta Williams at the same time, which Roberta Williams was a bonus because Ken just kind of got her into the room and had her answer some cool specific adventure gaming questions. So that was really cool. And so if you guys, oh, you know what? I didn't make a link for that. That was one of my pre-thing. Hold on, I'm gonna get a link to that. Give me 1 second. Something I forgot to do was link that Classic Gamers Guild podcast. It was an excellent interview. So just let me grab the link for you guys here. And I recommend listening to it because we're actually Dan and I wanted to discuss it on stream today, and Dan took up some clips of the stream, and we're going to discuss those particular clips. But let me just get back into OBS. Okay, there it is. Okay. So there is the link in chat for the podcast. Yes, I know Pascal Leroux, Legends. Completely Legends. Yeah, so going back to the pen. So they said maybe the pen is defective, so they sent me a new pen, and I was really excited. I got it yesterday, and I opened it. Okay, well, first, before I opened it, I was sitting on the couch, and I was a little anxious because I felt like there was a 90% chance it wasn't going to work, and the issue was not defective pen. The issue was just like unfortunately shoddy drivers and tech, just inferior to the Wacom stuff. And I was thinking, it's not going to work, and I'm going to have to face the fact that I'm going to have to return the Sept Book 3 and, admit defeat, which I don't like doing, and just dealing with that failure and miscalculation that I made when I tried to upgrade this in the first place. And so I was thinking that, and I said, okay, you know what, I'm just going to get it over with. I'll kind of close the Microsoft Surface Book 3 on this whole ordeal that has taken me way too much time from game dev. And so I opened up the package for the Microsoft Slim pen, and it had the pen in it, but it didn't have anything else in it. It did not have the charging cradle or the cable. They just sent me the pen. And of course, when I sent the so-called possibly defective original pen to them, of course I sent them everything, right? I sent them charging cradle, cable, pen, documentation. I had still like the plastic bits and the twist ties that come in it. When I return something, I like to return it in perfect condition with all the parts, even the little twist ties and everything. And QSX5, thank you for the follow. Yeah. So I kind of had to laugh because I was thinking, I was stressed out about this particular scenario, and then the scenario ended up being much worse. They just sent me the pen, and I couldn't test it. So normally, Kisai Tenchi saying normally they, as in warranty exchange, they tell you not to send anything but the defective part. They did not give me specific instructions, except a link to their return policy stuff. And of course, I read every line of the return policy because I thought it was a return. I didn't think it was like a warranty exchange. So, of course, they recommend for the return policy to send every part of the thing. So I sent them every part of the thing. Yeah. So I got onto the tech support chat again. Bilkin, do you have one charge in the pen? It could be charged. I just didn't even try. They're sending me one. It's on its way. Well, the rest of it anyway is on the way. Yeah, so they're sending it to me, and I'm gonna test it, and then it's gonna not work, and then I'm gonna return this. Yeah, I suppose I could try to see if the pen has some charge in it anyway, but I I don't have the heart to do it. I don't know if I remember when I was pairing it. I think it had. I don't remember. Anyway, I'm leaving it for now. Yes, bright side of life, Mouse Miss. Exactly. I'm gonna leave it for now. It should come quickly. The UPS thing is the drop-off location is very close to where I am, so I'll just by the end of the week I'll have an answer. Yeah. Hey, the 32-bit kid. Yes. Yeah. So I had to laugh because it just keeps going on, and so maybe next week I will be streaming again from the Surface Pro 2 1.2 megapixel front-facing camera instead of this glorious 5 megapixel camera. So we'll see. So that is that. Yes, Pascal LaRouche is going through the motion to say there was an attempt. Yes. I had in my hands while I'm, typing on live chat. I'm so glad. I love live chat for tech support. I love that because I don't know if I could have even been on the phone with somebody. Yeah, so that it was quick and everything, and he was very accommodating. But yeah, okay, moving on. So that's the hardware story and updates. And well, yeah, I kind of mentioned before what I'm thinking of getting as a replacement is the Wacom Mobile Studio Pro 13-inch version. And it's a hardware downgrade and it's more expensive, but it probably will work. And that's kind of all I want at this point in time. Let's get Julia one of the stupidly expensive Alienware rig. No, I'm probably going to get a stupidly expensive Wacom Mobile Studio. And yeah, I'm just gonna stop looking at my hair disappearing right now. Yeah, so anyway, it'll get sorted because of course now I've already paid the credit card bill for the month, and so I've got this. I'm gonna have, after I return the Surface Book 3, because 90% chance the new pen's not gonna work, I'm gonna have this ridiculous credit on the balance that I don't know. I guess I could look into transferring back into money. I don't know if that's even a thing. I've never done it, or I can just double down and try the next thing. But anyway, so there's that. And I think this is probably a good time to run the trailer and introduce myself to anybody who might be new to the stream and etc. Thank you, Bitterman. You stopped looking at your hair disappearing. At least yours is only due to green screen glitches. Thank you. Yes, and I'm merging with my artwork. I'm telling you, it was perfect just before. When I was testing all this, it was fine. But anyway, it doesn't matter. It's not important. You can see me. That's the important thing. Okay, so yeah, the trailer. So I'm going to introduce myself. So I'm Julia Minamata. I'm the solo indie dev behind the Crimson Diamond, which is an EGA text parser mystery set in Northern Ontario, Canada. And I'm also set in Canada. And it's been in development for a couple of years full time, but a long time as a hobby project. But I wanted to just give it a good, solid try and build some momentum, hopefully. So that's what I've been doing. I'm doing everything except for the music, and so we'll meet Dan soon enough. In another 15 minutes, we'll meet Dan, and he's doing the music on the Roland MT32, which is the synth that was used in a lot of the Sierra stuff from the late 80s, early 90s. And it kind of we wanted it to look authentic. We wanted it to sound authentic, but we did not want it necessarily to play authentically. I want it to play easier than that stuff did. So that's kind of where I'm at with it. Okay, so let's do the trailer. And yeah, don't worry, Mouse, don't worry about a GoFundMe. I wouldn't have tried to upgrade if I couldn't afford to do it. So yeah, that's don't worry about that. But thank you, I appreciate it. Okay, so let us get to the trailer. Just put the trailer up really quick, and welcome people who are new to stream, and of course welcome to the old familiar faces. So here's the trailer. So it's hopefully, it's hopefully going to be nostalgic for people who remember the style, but I am hoping that it will appeal to people who've never seen the style before. And when I've shown it to people at events, I've been encouraged by the reaction that I've been receiving. So hopefully that's going to be the case when it actually does launch. And yeah, well, one of these modern conveniences is the graphical inventory, which wasn't really present in these EGA games at that time, and there's no reason for me not to do it. It's just way easier, so that's what we're going with. And then there was a notebook earlier in the trailer, and that's another modern convenience. Yes, great. Okay, so that's the trailer, and let's see, we have a little bit of time, so I'm going to do a bit of show and tell, because I said I was going to show some sketchbook stuff, because more background. I'm an artist first. I went to college for illustration, and I was an illustrator, a freelance illustrator, for more than 10 years before I decided I was going to get into the game dev stuff. And it's been a really good, positive experience so far. And I'm gonna play with the filter again, the color key, because it's kind of making me crazy. Okay. Oh my gosh, ridiculous. Okay, there we go. Okay. Hey, thanks, Grob and Josh. I'm glad you like it. And yeah, the music. Well, this is not music, but the trailer music was dance music, original stuff. Okay. So, yes, what I was gonna do next. Yes, sketchbook stuff. So yes, I was a freelance illustrator for a bunch of years, and that's kind of where I started with this game. I started with art, and so for me, that's kind of the most important aspect for me. I wanted to make the game look like the old stuff, not play like the old stuff, and I'm gonna show some sketchbook stuff right now, actually. Because I do like to show a few things, although I'm going to cut it a bit short because it looks like we're in 10 minutes from now. We're going to be rating Dan, and I'm going to introduce Dan. But first, let's do some show and tell. Okay, so these are really bad photographs of my sketchbook, and the reason they're bad is that I use a 2H pencil when I'm sketching, because I tend to press really hard, and when you have a softer lead pencil and you press very hard, it's kind of tough to erase, and also it makes a big mess. So I use a very hard, relatively hard lead, and so the actual sketches, I'll show you a real sketch, they tend to be pretty light unless I go over them with a softer lead. Right, so this piece, actually, I did a lot of work for Maclean's, which is our national news weekly magazine here in Canada, and what this is, it would be on the back page of the publication, and what would be in the middle would be a Canadian, just a regular Canadian with, and this stuff surrounding them would be aspects of their life, stuff that they like doing, places they've been, stuff they've accomplished, etc. So that's one of them. And this is just to give you an idea of what the sketchbook process is like. These are all thumbnails, so these are all small sketches that I would generate to try to get ideas for composition, etc. Ooh, Bilkun, you got an update on the 286 resurrection? I know you've been doing some basement archaeology. And this is more stuff. You can see, actually, a lot of my sketchbook pages are more writing than actual visual stuff. But I'll show you some of the final pieces as well. But this was for like a very long, skinny. When you have a newspaper, it's folded over, but when you open it up, it's quite long and skinny. So this is actually a piece for the National Post. And the sketch that I ended up going with was the bottom left here, and so you'll see what that one looks like. But these are pretty small sketches. They're about maybe 4 inches tall, maybe, and less than an inch wide. But they're a good way of just getting your ideas out and seeing what you want to pursue. Here are more of the Maclean's picture frame type of idea sketches. So I often would do pencil sketches, although later on I would just go in straight to digital when I would have the ability to do that. Yes, Let's Studio, I agree. I think unfinished artwork does have a certain appeal. I think there's more movement and more spontaneity, for sure. And I showed this finished piece for this one in a previous stream. So this is what the sketch looked like for that one. And this one is actually one that I did end up going closer to finishing. A lot of my sketches are very, very sketchy so far, but this one I just sometimes enjoy the act of drawing, the act of sketching. Yes, Lucille Tanda, exactly. The previous one is Lucille. That I forget the story because I don't have a memory. I make fun of Dan, but I also don't have a memory. But this one in particular was one I wanted to get more finished with the drawing. And I can actually show what that sketch looks like in real life. Let's see. Yeah, so I have the sketch here. But yeah, the reason I showed the picture as it is there is because I know the chroma key is going to mess with this really badly. Or the lighting will. Anyway. You get the idea. I think that's the size that I'm working at. And I actually have it printed on canvas too. The color version, final version. So there's that. So that's all, like a lot of the stuff I would do before I would do game dev stuff. And I'll show a few more, but then we're gonna start introducing Dan to the party in like 2 minutes. But I will show a few more little sketches, I think. Yeah, more little thumbnails. This is another one that I ended up finishing. And these are, again, a lot of little thumbnail sketch ideas for, I think, a film festival. The Calgary Underground Film Festival. These were all ideas for that. Yes, for a party. Yes. No one has antlers like Gaston, exactly. And this one is another one I showed at the final piece. It's about hardtack and all the different ways it's been used in across ages and regions. And another one of the McLean's pieces. And oh yes, this piece, it's probably one of the earliest pieces of Nancy Maple and what I thought she might look like. And this was quite some years ago, and she hasn't really changed much since then. Since this sketch, I don't think. You know, she pretty much looks the same. But there she is in just a regular sketch form. And this piece is, I showed this piece on a earlier stream. It was the piece that ended up being on Breaking Bad. This is the sketch. The final piece ended up being mirrored because I felt like I needed more space on the left-hand side. So I do that occasionally, is I'll just mirror stuff. Because for me, I feel like it doesn't really matter. If it doesn't look right mirrored, then it probably needs to be adjusted anyway. Yes, high-res Nancy, exactly. This is another one of those McLean's pieces. And this was a piece I did for a book of poetry. This is for Pink Floyd. The piece was called Dark Side of the Rainbow, I think. That whole idea that Pink Floyd, if you play that one album and you sync it up with Wizard of Oz, etc. But here's the sketch for that. And more little sketches. And let's see. I think that's it. Yeah, so that's all the sketchbook stuff. But because I set it up, I do want to show the website. Whoops, not that one. Portfolio site, yep. So there's this, if it wants to work. Yep. So here are examples of finished pieces. I showed quite a few of the framed style. And so these ones are some of those finished, polished pieces. And this is just a selection of them. I've probably done 100 of these over the years. I worked with McLean's on these for about 8 years. Maybe about once a month on average. So that's those. And yeah, so I mean, there's more on the site that I could show, I guess, but I think we're running out of time, so I'm just going to leave it at that. But here's some watercolor stuff, some watercolor beauty stuff, makeup stuff. But I'm going to head back to Dan. Alright, to big me. Okay, so see, I didn't even change anything and the lighting is messing up. Oh, there it goes. Guess it needs to adjust itself. Okay, great. Hey, Jesse. Jesse Ewells. Yeah, Sheridan, man. Sheridan. There. Yeah. Yeah, Jesse and I both went to Sheridan for exactly the same program. Okay, cool. Good to see you, man. Yeah, we're going to head over to Dan's channel and we're going to do some music stuff. So I guess I should introduce Dan. I'm going to drop some of Dan's links in the chat. Dan. Okay. Oh yeah, let's see. It's probably my lighting is going haywire because it's dark. Are you lit by the screen a lot? That could be it. Maybe if I sit further back, that'll help a bit with that. But yeah, thank you guys for helping me. You guys have always been so helpful with tech support. Okay, so Dan is the one behind the Roland MP32 music that you will find in the demo. There's 3 tracks so far, and Dan he was a touring musician. He did that most of the time before the current situation, and he's been touring with Sean Paul for the past 8 years on keyboards, which is perfect because now he can use the Roland MP32 with his keyboards. Yes, I'm lit. Thank you, Dan. And Dan has also been working on Empire of Sin with Brenda and John Romero, and that's coming out, I believe, this holiday season. So if you want to hear more Dan music, you pick that one up and see. And that's kind of awesome because I watched that High Score Netflix series, and it was so cool to see John and Brenda talk. Well, John, at least on that one, talk about Doom. So that's Dan's boss. Dan's other boss is John Romero and Brenda Romero. Beyond that, on that same series, of course, we had Roberta and Ken Williams. And I mentioned at the top that Classic Gamers Guild podcast got to interview Ken and Roberta, which was incredible. And it was an incredible. In fact, let me link that again. It was an incredible episode, so I recommend you guys listen to it. But we're actually going to. Dan took some clips from the episode. We're going to listen to them and discuss them with the hosts, and hopefully they're going to be joining us in chat in a little bit. But I'm going to set up the raid to Dan, and then I will set up a call to Dan, and we'll get started. So let's see here. Raid. No. Okay. So we're getting set for that. So that's where we're going to finish off the night. Hopefully we can show some of the stuff we've been working on and work on something new. I think we discussed it, but I don't actually remember at this point what we discussed, Dan. But yes. Oh yeah, it's Bilkun. It's exclamation mark link. Just exclamation mark L for the links. It's just I tried to make it easy, but. Oh, you know what? That's why. Yeah, that's just plain wrong. Nightbot's wrong, and it's my fault. But. Yeah, we'll see you over there in a little bit, and thanks for coming. And next week will be an art stream, and I'm back on the exterior shot of the Royal Canadian Museum, and maybe show some stuff. I don't know what, but hopefully. And then we'll have hopefully a conclusion to the epic tale of my failed hardware upgrade. Okay, so I'm going to hand this over to Dan. I'm going to raid him. I'm going to close OBS so my front-facing camera works, and we're going to get that done. Yes, Bilkun, yeah, that's not the other link. I got to fix my Nightbot. Everything's broken. Okay. Great. Have a good night.